Well, hello there, folks, and a very warm welcome back to What's for Tea. It's lovely to see you all again, and I hope that I find you very well indeed. So today I made this absolutely delicious potato bake. Oh, it's wonderful and saucy and chickeny and bacony. It's absolutely fab. I will put all of the ingredients I'm using on the screen as I use them, but you'll also find them underneath the video in case you want to come back at a later date. And you can add all sorts of things to this to make it your own, but I'm going to show you my very basic version. So into a large pan, you want to put your potatoes, cover those up with some cold water, and you want to get your potatoes up to the boil. If you cover them, they'll get up to the boil a lot quicker. Then once they're boiling, you want to get some salt and put a good dash of salt in there, probably a couple of tablespoons, just to make sure your water is nice and salty. Bring that back up to the boil, and you want to simmer these for about 15 minutes, just to make sure they're quite soft. And then while they're boiling away, you can go on and do your sauce. So in a frying pan, pop some olive oil, and to that I'm going to add one medium onion, which I've just sliced up. On top of that, I'm going to put some salt, because that helps to draw out the moisture and it will help them cook a bit quicker. Give those a wee stir around and let those cook for about 5 minutes, just until they're starting to soften up. And then to that, I'm going to add some garlic. So I've got 1 teaspoon of minced garlic. You can use fresh garlic if you prefer. If you're using fresh garlic, I would use 2 garlic cloves and just slice them up, or crush them down. Cook that for about a minute, and I'm going to add some cooked ham. You can use bacon if you prefer. I've just got some cooked ham there that I need to use up, so I'm just going to use this. Just cut this into small chunks or chop up into small pieces. If you're using bacon, this will take you a wee bit longer, because with the cooked ham, you just want to basically warm it through before you move on. If you're using bacon, you'll need to make sure it's thoroughly cooked all the way through before you move on to the next stage. So I'm going to pop in 1 can of Heinz cream of chicken soup, and I'm also going to add half a can of the Campbell's condensed chicken soup, just because it's that much thicker. It's going to give you a saucier sauce at the end, and it's not going to be too runny. So this is just what I'm doing here. You can add the whole can of condensed soup if you like, if you want it extra saucy, but this was fine for me. So just give everything a good stir together and bring that back up to a simmer. So just make sure everything is well combined. That's a wee bit thicker, as you can see, but it's going to give you a lovely sauce at the end. So once it's bubbling away like this, that is your sauce done. So you can pop that to the side just for now. And by now your potatoes will be ready to be drained. So just drain the water out and let those sit for a couple of minutes until they cool down a wee bit, so that you can handle them. You don't want to burn your fingers off. Grab yourself a large oven dish. We're going to put a layer of the sauce on the bottom, just to make sure your potatoes don't stick and it's all nice and ooey gooey. With a knife, you just want to chop these randomly into slices or chunks. It really doesn't matter, because it's all just going to get covered up anyway, so it doesn't have to be neat and pretty. So just do that with all of your potatoes, and then you want to put the rest of your sauce directly on top of the potatoes. Just kind of dot it around so that all of the potatoes are getting a wee bit of that sauce. Then with your spoon, just move it around just to make sure it's nice and even. I'm going to add some cheese to the top. This is Gruyere cheese, but use whatever cheese you prefer. I'm using Gruyere because I had Gruyere there, or I would have just used cheddar. So it's completely up to you, and it's up to you how much cheese you put on as well. So once it's looking something like this, it's time to put it into the oven. You don't need to cover it or anything. Just put it directly into the middle of your oven on 180°, or on a gas mark 4 or 5, I would say 5 actually, yeah, gas mark 5, 180°, for about half an hour, and it will come out looking something like this. And look at it all bubbling away there. Let me tell you, like I said, this is absolutely delicious, even just on its own, and it keeps really well as well. You can keep this in the fridge for a couple of days, or even freeze it, but I don't tend to like freezing potato type things, but you could if you really wanted to. So I'm just going to pop this into the bowl just to let you see what it's like. And the deeper you go into that dish, the saucier it gets. Most of these potatoes are from the top, so you're not getting to see the proper sauciness, the proper saucy nature of these potatoes. But let me tell you, well worth a go if you do like these kind of potato based recipes. So do let me know if you're planning on giving that one a go, because so many of you now send me your pictures over on Instagram of things that you've made, and I do love to see them. And just before I leave you, I wanted to say, as usual, a huge thank you to the supporters of the channel over on my Patreon page, to the channel members here on YouTube as well, for you all for watching, leaving your lovely messages, and for those that share the videos as well. It's all very much appreciated. And I will catch up with you during the week for another wee recipe, back on Saturday for our wee shopping unbagging, or back on Sunday for our family meals of the week. But whenever you choose to join me again, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you off as soon back here on What's for Tea. Bye now.